Welcome back, everyone. Today we're talking about tray flips, down stair sets, and gaps. I've actually done this video before many years ago, but it got taken down because of a copyright claim. I used some footage of Chris Jocelyn, I believe, hucking himself down a massive stair set trying to do a tray flip. I won't do that this time. I've learned my lesson, but if you'd like to get a good example of that, just look up Thrasher My War, Chris Jocelyn. I think it was one of those types of videos. Anyways, this isn't going to be a terribly long video. It's for people who already know how to tray flip on flat ground. Clearly, you want to learn how to do that first before you start hucking yourself down stair sets. As I've mentioned before, I've made a video just generally when it comes to doing flip tricks down stair sets, what it takes to really prepare yourself. And I've mentioned briefly in that video that you want to work your way up. You want to start on a small stair set and build your way up. And I definitely think that goes for any flip trick. So that definitely applies here. Make sure you start getting acquainted with flipping your board down small stair sets. You can start to get used to the difference, how different it feels jumping down a stair set and taking impact and having more airtime and all of that, and then just gradually expanding upon that. So there are, I would say, three main things that are different when it comes to tray flipping down stair sets as opposed to on flat ground. And one of those is your foot setup. You can definitely afford to spread your feet further apart on the board. If you notice on flat ground, a lot of people who are good at tray flips, you'll see that they might set their feet together pretty closely if they're doing a tray flip on flat ground. And that's because you have a lot of potential energy there when you kind of have your feet together and they're compressed and you just spring out from this central area. And a lot of people use that technique when they're trying to tray flip into like a nose grind or a nose slide, crooked grind, whatever, manual, just because you want to get that tray flip done really fast. But the opposite is true for when you're doing it down a stair set. You want to take advantage of all that airtime you have, so you want to slow your tray flip down. And one of the ways to do that is to kind of spread your feet apart so that you're not creating so much tension and really using as much force when you flick. You don't need as much force, and so setting your feet further apart kind of helps slow that down a little bit. And another thing is really just the amount of force that you use. You want to be more gentle when you're tray flipping down a stair set, because again, the combination of those two things of really just kind of easing up on your foot positioning and also using less force is going to create more of that slow motion effect. And you may see someone tray flipping in regular motion down a stair set and it doesn't seem very slow, but when you're doing it, you'll realize that the flip is slower, and that's because you don't want to get rid of the flip and get it over with too soon down the stair set. You want to take advantage of that air time and really let the board really expand upon all of that time that you're given before you land. The third tip I would say is really important, and that is making sure your feet are not too close together during the trick. Once you've started the flip, you don't want your feet too close together. You don't want to land with both feet closer to the nose, especially down a stair set. You don't want to end up snapping your board like that. And so it's really important that you kind of separate the feet. Now, you don't have to go all spread eagle and do that fake steez thing where the back foot's dangling and everything. That can be kind of fun when you're messing around, but you don't have to go as far as that. I would just say make sure that the feet are separate enough to where you can land bolts back on the board. And some of the problems you'll face with tray flipping down stair sets, one of the biggest problems would be that you're not ready to brace yourself for the landing, and so it kind of catches you off guard. Maybe you're new to it, or maybe like myself, you're rusty and you gain some dad weight and you just you're not used to your core muscles anymore. So when you impact, you might slip out back, and that's totally normal. It's going to happen. It's unavoidable. Over time, you'll get used to it. You'll lean a little more forward and learn to brace yourself and get ready for the landing. Sometimes you're just so focused on the tray flip that by the time you land, you're surprised or overly excited, and you can't really take the impact as well, and you just slip out, and that's very, very common. It's just something that you're going to have to get used to and just brace yourself for over time. That just kind of improves the more you get used to it. That's just kind of a problem that you have to bear and get used to, and it should hopefully lessen over time. Another problem is just landing with your weight kind of off, and you end up getting wheel bite, which is when the wheel pinches the top of the board and it just stops you and you just fly forward. That's also very common. Really hard to just avoid that one. You can try and tighten your trucks, but if you come down with enough weight, the wheel's going to pinch anyway. So it's important to really make sure you're not landing too heavy on the toes or the heels on some strange part of the board, to try and have it centered when you land. And those are really just the main problems. The other problems are just mental when it comes to this trick. Let's say you didn't catch it right, or you flipped too fast. Despite trying to slow down your flip, it was still too fast, or it didn't feel right, or the weight was off, or you caught it wrong or something, and you have to kick it away. You'll find that other than the main issues that I had mentioned today, it's really a mental deal. It's a mental uphill battle, and it's about preparing yourself and just believing that you can do it, and bringing all of those aspects of what you do know about a tray flip together, and just trusting that it's the same down a stair set with just those minor changes, those changes of slowing yourself down, just getting ready for the impact, just like you would for a basic ollie down a stair set. You have to be able to get ready to land and to really take the shock, to bend down on your knees as low as you need to take the impact from the landing. And it's just going to get better with time. And it's not as drastic of a change on like a 2 or a 3 stair. So that's why I recommend doing that over and over, just getting used to that. Practice makes perfect. And then just slowly work your way up. So those are my tips for tray flips down stairs and gaps. Hopefully this helped you guys. Comment down below what you would like to see in the future as always, and I will see you guys next time.